Arian, you're here, mate. Bring us some normality. How are you?
I'm great. I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. I have a history with Mr. Box Office. I
I
hate
saw you
him.
laughing when he was speaking, actually.
I Yeah, no, because every time he comes on here, he says some absolute nonsense. And the thing is, what happens is he nitpicks some things he gets right, and he goes, "Oh, always been right." The guy is out of his mind, really, frankly.
Anyway, I do think when you
Yeah.
name yourself Mr. Box Office, maybe there's an element that you are purposely saying stuff to try and get
Well, yeah.
reaction. I don't know.
There's obviously
Uh,
that element.
but tell us about the performance today. What did you think?
Wonderful performance. I said it in the first half when a lot of people were giving, because the thing is, I think a lot of people, this is the biggest problem I feel like when it comes to looking at games, is it's easy to say we're missing a final ball because we are sometimes, and that's sometimes how the sport goes. You're missing a
Of
final
course.
ball, but you look at the grand scheme of the performance. Villa looked horrible. I mean, you look at that side, you think this is a relegation side. Villa were genuinely horrible from minute 1 to minute 90. It wasn't from minute 45 to minute 90. They were shit. They were genuinely shit. And barring a couple of referee decisions that were minute in the first half, we could have scored. Like, for example, this decision did my head in. When Bissouma wins the ball cleanly from John
Yeah, I
McGinn in
remember
front
the
of their
one.
box in a
Yep.
4v2,
Yeah.
that is a goal. That would have been a goal, and we were completely. It was just taken away from us for absolutely no reason. And there were little ones along the way, similar to that one. And you go into the half goalless. I was very relaxed, and I have a message from a group chat. I said, "Watch, we're gonna win this 4-0," and it turns out
Oh,
we were
great.
right because Villa have not impressed me all season. You look at the panel show I did maybe a month ago. I said we're gonna win by at least 3 goals at Villa Park. I was not one bit scared going into
He
this
did
game.
actually
Villa did not.
say that. He did
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, no.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was on that one with him. He did actually say that. But he did also say that we were going to go 7 unbeaten.
and I
So,
and I said, and if you remember, I said the reason for that is because we've gotten the same squad back that won, that did not lose in 10 games, and the one we lost was when we did not have both of our fullbacks.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
as soon
Agreed.
as they have returned, we have now won every single one. So I would say, given that caveat, it wasn't an outlandish thing for me to say. And it's so far, again, barring the fact that we missed our 2 fullbacks in the same way that we missed our 2 center backs, um, our performances have been wonderful. So since then with the squad, because the squad has returned, the same squad that played to that level. Our points per game has been, I think, the second highest or the highest this season, barring the times where we did not have our center backs.
Yeah.
We've had a brilliant season, and we're continuing it. Um, you know, this performance. Let's go back to the performance. Let's not go to the grand scheme of the season. This performance, the second half especially, Villa were as soon as Van de Ven goes off, you're thinking the worst, right? But Dragushin comes in, wonderful. It's near impossible ask to fill in the shoes of Mickey Van de Ven, but he did it superbly, I think, to the best of his abilities. The biggest caveat with him was his on the ball ability. I don't think he was like Romero-esque or Toby Alderweireld-esque, but I think he was more than capable. I think he showed
Yeah.
that he can definitely be a great player for this team. Great off the bench, great option, great competitor for that starting spot. And that second half, Villa looked hopeless. I mean, their only couple chances came from just long balls, like this. Like this is the stuff you see from Burnley. They just whipped it long to one of their wingers or to Watkins and just prayed, and it almost might kind of worked once or twice, but outside of that, they just looked horrible,
How
and
much,
we
sorry to
punished them.
interrupt, mate, but how much do you think the Thursday, Sunday European game had to do with that? Or is it just that Emery set it up in a way where he got it wrong?
I think, I mean, it's undeniable that the fatigue most definitely helped us out. I don't want to, as much as I discredit Villa all season, I think the fact that fatigue, that they had that Thursday game did, it unsettled them. And Emery has a history, the same way Conte does. As soon as the European midweek fixtures pile in, the wheels fall off, and that's what we're seeing right now. So, and I also think that the tactical changes were ridiculous. I mean, what he was trying to do was kind of pull a Conte where he has a deep line. He's gonna soak in pressure. The only thing he did better than Conte is he didn't have 2 in midfield, so that midfield battle was a little bit more difficult to win because we didn't have a numerical advantage. But when you have wonderful players like Pat Matassar and James Maddison and Bissouma, you're gonna win that midfield battle, and that's exactly what we did. And Pat Matassar opened the scoring. Well, he didn't open the scoring. He gave one of the most delicious crosses I've seen in my life.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely sublime, world-class cross. I mean, this is the stuff you see from Trent Alexander-Arnold week in, week out.
Yeah.
Could not be better place for James Madison to just touch it in. And from there, the floodgates opened fully.
Yeah.
So given your confidence, Arian, and I know how you're feeling, and I'm with you. I think that was the best performance of our season, hands down. That Champions League spot, is it ours?
Oh, it's absolutely ours. I said it's ours, and like I said, I have bets on that it's ours. And I was again so confident that we win this game. I told my friend, if we don't win this game, I will record a video of my dad throwing an egg at my face and upload it to the internet. That is what I said. That is how confident I was going into this game that we would win this game.
Mother's Day traditions at your house are weird.
But you know, like I said,
I'm pleased you didn't have to do that, Arian.
I knew I wouldn't have to do it. And our next 4 games are very winnable fixtures. We're gonna win all 4, and then we go into that very anxious run-in where we have the game at St. James's Park. Then we have Man City and Arsenal, and then Stamford Bridge is probably going to be put in there somewhere in the midweek, and then we have Anfield. So 5 very, very difficult games. And I think a lot of people are expecting, we're gonna maybe win one. I'd like to be more optimistic. I'm not going to make a prediction yet because you never know what the squad's going to look like for us and for the opponents going into those games. But I'm very optimistic for the season. I still think we not only can finish 4th, we can aim higher. I'm not going to say how high, but we can aim higher. And like Ange said, the actual position we finish in, whether it's 4th or 5th or 10th or 2nd or 1st or whatever, right, doesn't genuinely matter in the long term that he's building, in the long term that we're looking forward to. What he is laying down is the foundations of a team that can win, not just this season, not just next season, but for the foreseeable future. And that is exactly what he's laying out. We have our squad out. As soon as we don't have absolute horrible. You make Liverpool play Trent Alexander-Arnold center back, they're not going to be top of the table. You make Man City Man City have like center back, so I'm not going to use them. All their fucking defenders.
Well, to be fair, actually, Liverpool are decimated by injuries and are finding a way at the moment. But I would say that's mainly based on the fact they've had Klopp there for 9 years, so their entire academy is geared to play in the Klopp way. So when they transfer one player from the academy into a first team, it's not as huge a drop-off point as it would be for Spurs to bring in academy players now who've had to play 6 different ways in the last 5 years and slot in.
No, I wasn't trying to discredit Liverpool because but what I'm saying is the players that they're playing, Jarrell Kwanzaa and Connor Bradley, these are players who they might not be obviously as experienced, but they're right backs and they're center backs. These are players who've been coached to play in a certain position, a certain way. Emerson Royale has never played right back or center back to a high degree in his life, right? True. And now we asked him to play 5 games in a row at center back. That's the kind of point I'm making, right? Arsenal, you make them put Zinchenko and Tomiyasu at their center back, they're not going to be anywhere near that title race.
True.
Anyone. We had to, the people don't realize the actual gravity of the injury crisis we had, and that's why we went winless in 5. So, look, besides those 5 games, like I said, our points per game is one of the highest, if not the highest in the league. I forget exactly how high it is, but it's top 3 for sure. We are building something very serious, and that point Mr. Box Office said, and I don't even know why I'm calling him that, but the point he said about he's using Arteta of all coaches as the benchmark, which is so strange to me, because why would you want your own coach to do so poorly that they need to be bailed out by more than 700 million British pounds or euros or some other a ridiculous amount of money that they need that much money to still not win anything? Why are you using that coach as the benchmark? Has anyone at Man City ever said Pep out? Has anyone at Man City ever said Pep out? And he's going to say, why are you looking at Pep? Why are you looking at Pep Guardiola? Why are you comparing fucking Brennan Johnson to Gareth Bale? And you're saying he doesn't touch Gareth Bale or Goulas doesn't touch, so now he's shit. So I'm going to use Pep if you're going to use Gareth Bale. Why would you not compare Ange to the likes of Pep Guardiola? Did anyone say Pep out? Is he still not a fantastic manager for Man City? Of course he is. And regarding Kulusevski and regarding Brennan Johnson, regarding Timo Werner, not every single player has to be one of the greatest of all time. Gareth Bale is the greatest British player of all time. Why on earth are you saying if Kulusevski isn't exactly at his level, he's shit? I mean, that's a ridiculous thing to say. So, look, what I'm saying is Ange doesn't need to be shit because his standards are much higher than certain other managers, and he isn't going to be shit. He isn't going to be to the point where all of our fans are going to want him out, because he's a much better coach than that.
Yeah,
he's a much better. He doesn't need 700 million.
I agree.
ARIAN, I'm afraid I'm going to have to push things on because we've got a few callers left, and
that's all right.
For one reason or another, we seem to have already gone on for an hour and 15 minutes. ARIAN, as ever, brilliant points, and thank you so much. Do call in after next week's win against Fulham. Listen how confident I'm being.
Enjoy the 3 points, ARIAN. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a great night.
I will.
Enjoy the week.
And as always, come on, you Spurs!
Yes, top man. I wonder if people in ARIAN's house think that he's having like a weekly mental breakdown when suddenly he just starts screaming from the upstairs room. Should say during ARIAN's call, I was just keeping an eye on my right. Luis Diaz, who I really rate, missed 2
sitters.
Absolute sitters. One was a one-on-one and he put it wide, and then the other one he just took too much time over when it just came across the box to him.
Good thing we didn't sign him, eh?
And it didn't happen. I saw that we had one more caller. Are they still online, Tammy? They're not. Well, listen, honestly, that has been the most enjoyable fan phone-in show I've ever had. Really enjoyed it. And, you know, I know I'm lightly taking the mickey out of you there, Mr. Box Office. But actually, genuinely, keep calling in because it is hilarious. And like I said, more importantly, football is about being subjective. Everyone's allowed their views. Listen, I am also allowed to suggest that maybe your views are a little heavy on purpose, but maybe you can tell me next week after the Fulham win why I am wrong. And if we don't beat Fulham, all the more reason to call in because I will be spewing.
Indeed,
Amir, thank you so much for being on the show. Guys, thank you at home for watching and listening. Please do press the like and the subscribe button on We Are Tottenham TV. Go to @BarnabySlater_ to follow the Spurred On podcast where you get daily content. And Amir, tell them where to find you.
You can find me over on Tottenham and Tour, and I will be here in the studio over the next couple of months with Barnaby. And come and join us. When
we're going to go on this winning run. Exactly. Most importantly, have a great week. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.